Two programs, same algorithm, same math, same machine. One finishes before you lift your finger off the enter key. The other one is still going 35,000 times later. That's not a rounding error. That's not a marketing exaggeration either. I checked. The number is real, so the obvious conclusion is that Mojo is a faster language, and Python developers are about to get replaced by it. That conclusion is wrong, not slightly wrong, wrong at the root, because 35,000 isn't a measurement of how fast Mojo is. It's a measurement of something else entirely. And once you see what it's actually measuring, the whole pitch changes. Almost every article that quotes this number leaves out the benchmark, so let's put it back. The figure comes from an implementation of the Mandelbrot set, a fractal generator. It's a tight numerical loop. For every pixel on a grid, you iterate a complex number until it escapes or hits a limit. Millions of tiny arithmetic operations. No I/O, basically no memory allocation. Pure compute. Modular wrote that algorithm in Mojo and compared it against the same algorithm written in pure, unoptimized CPython. Something like this. Read that loop again and think about what CPython is doing on every single line. Z times Z isn't a multiply instruction. It's a dictionary lookup for the multiply method, a new heap allocated object, a reference count increment, a bytecode dispatch through the interpreter loop. Every iteration, millions of times. The Mojo version does the same math like this. The Mojo version looks almost identical, but it compiles down to native code, with static types, no interpreter, and, this is the critical one, SIMD vectorization plus parallelization across cores. One CPU instruction handling multiple pixels at once. So the 35,000x is a stack of multipliers. Compilation, static typing, vectorization, parallelism, all compounding on a workload built to humiliate an interpreter. Now, the benchmark isn't a machine learning workload. It's not a NumPy dot product, and it's nothing like the code most Python developers run. It's the single most favorable comparison you could construct, a pure numeric hot loop against the slowest possible baseline. So the real question is the one nobody asks. What happens when the baseline isn't the slowest possible one? Take that same Mandelbrot kernel. Now write it in Rust or in C++, and let someone who knows what they're doing turn on the optimizer. Mojo's advantage collapses to a few percentage points. Sometimes it wins, sometimes it loses. Sometimes the difference is inside the noise floor of your own benchmarking methodology, and that should not surprise anyone, because it's the expected result. Mojo compiles through MLIR down to native code. Rust compiles through LLVM down to native code. C++ goes through LLVM or GCC down to native code. At the bottom of all three, you have the same CPU, the same vector units, the same cache hierarchy, the same physics. Nobody gets to cheat. Translated honestly, the stat reads like this. 35,000x is a measurement of how slow interpreted CPython is on numeric code. It's a diagnosis of Python. It says nothing about whether Mojo beats Rust. Because against Rust, it basically ties. It took me about 10 minutes of digging through Modular's benchmark post to find which baseline the number was measured against, and that 10 minutes is the entire difference between understanding this claim and repeating it. And no, this isn't the, well, just use numba argument either. Numba GT compiles your hot loops and gets you most of the way there for exactly this kind of numeric code. Mojo's bet was never about winning a micro benchmark against numba. It's about what happens the day your kernel needs GPU tiling and not just a CPU loop. Hold on to that word, tiling. We come back to it. Once you internalize that, a strange thing happens. The 35,000x stops being impressive and starts being suspicious. If the whole value proposition were raw speed, Mojo would be competing head-on with Rust and C++, and it would be losing. On ecosystem, on tooling, on hiring people who already know it. There would be no reason for it to exist. If this kind of breakdown is useful, you can support the channel on Patreon or by becoming a member, so it can't be about raw speed. And it isn't. Go read Modular's own technical writing, their docs, their engineering blog, the talks their people give. The 35,000x barely shows up. What they argue over and over is the abstraction layer. That's not an accident, and it's not modesty either. It's because the benchmark was never the product. So what is the argument? It has nothing to do with speed. Write the most ordinary line in modern numerical Python. One line. Feels like Python. It is not Python. Underneath that call is an enormous amount of compiled native code. A plain NumPy install is tens of megabytes of compiled code. Add a CUDA toolchain and you're into the gigabytes. See, Fortran-derived BLAS kernels, hand-tuned assembly, an entire GPU runtime. Machinery your Python program depends on completely, and that you, the Python developer, can't see, can't modify, and honestly can't debug either. That's the real complaint. It isn't Python is slow, it's Python is a control panel bolted onto a machine written in a different language. And the moment you need something that isn't already inside that machine, a fused operation nobody implemented, a custom kernel for some new attention variant, a quantization scheme that shipped last month, you fall off the cliff. You stop writing Python and start writing C++ and CUDA. Separate build systems, separate tooling, separate debuggers, often separate people. The industry has a name for this, the two-language problem. Mojo's pitch is, erase the cliff. Let the person who wrote the model write the kernel in one file, in a syntax they already know. You start in something that reads like Python, and when that loop becomes the bottleneck, you don't rewrite it in another language. You tighten the same code in place, one file. Nothing new to learn. Dynamic becomes static, and you get access to SIMD, ownership, and GPU targeting without changing languages, build systems, or teams. That is the thesis. Not faster than Python. Low-level control without leaving the high-level language. It's an argument about the seam between layers, not about the speed of either layer, which is a real bet and an interesting one. It's also much harder to fit in a headline. And that is exactly why the 35,000X is the number everyone repeats instead. So should you install it tonight? 2 months ago, the answer was no. And it was the right answer. It wasn't finished. It wasn't open source. And nobody sane was building a career on it. That changed partially on May 7th, 2026, when Modular shipped Mojo 1.0 beta as part of the 26.3 release. 2 things in it are worth your attention. The first is safe closures. Sounds like a footnote. It isn't. Closures capturing state across ownership boundaries is exactly where a systems language either stays safe or quietly hands you memory bugs. Getting it right is a prerequisite for the whole write kernels without leaving Python land promise, because the entire point is that a model author shouldn't have to reason like a C++ programmer. The second is TileTensor, the GPU programming abstraction. This is the product. If Mojo's thesis is own the layer NumPy hides from you, then the GPU is where that thesis gets tested, because the GPU is where the opaque CUDA machinery lives. TileTensor is the bet that tiling and memory hierarchy work can be expressed in Mojo instead of in a separate CUDA file. That's the tiling question from earlier, and this is Modular's answer to it, except the word beta in that sentence is doing an enormous amount of work, and I want to be blunt about how much. 1.0 beta is not 1.0. The final 1.0 is targeted for autumn of 2026, so the language surface is stabilizing, but it isn't frozen. The ecosystem is a fraction of Python's. No decades of packages, no Stack Overflow archive, no army of people who already hit your bug last year. Go looking for an answer about the closure changes and you end up in the release notes, because there is no decade of accumulated questions from other people who already tried the same thing. If you adopt today, you aren't picking a tool. You're placing a bet on a company continuing to fund a compiler. That bet might pay off, but 35,000 times faster than Python is exactly the kind of sentence that gets people to place it without reading the terms. Here's the thing I keep coming back to. The 35,000X wasn't a lie. It was reproducible. Modular documented it, anyone could rerun it, and it still managed to make almost everyone who repeated it dumber about the topic, including a lot of people who should have opened the benchmark before quoting it. A true number, quoted without its baseline, does more damage than a false one, because you can't argue with a true number, you just repeat it. The interesting story was never Mojo versus Python. It's that a huge share of modern software is a thin, readable veneer, sitting on top of an enormous pile of compiled code that nobody on the team can open. NumPy is the version we've decided to be okay with. Your JavaScript bundle is the one nobody defends. Your container image, honestly, we just stopped measuring. Zig went after that pile from underneath. Rust went after the part that corrupts memory. Mojo is doing something weirder, coming down from the top, from inside the language you already write, trying to reach the bottom without a rewrite. 3 very different languages aimed at the same accumulated weight. That weight is the actual story of this decade, and it's the subject of the great debloating, why modern software is finally breaking, where this stops being about one language's benchmark and becomes about why the whole stack is buckling under code nobody reads anymore. Watch that one next. It's the layer underneath this video.